Hey, what's up with it once again, ladies and gentlemen, bros, and families, fingers, as always. Talking to Nikki Komores, everyone else in between. You guys are interested in intros, naturals, channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, BShoot, Brighty on any of your social media platforms. Sites you guys can think of Rumble Odyssey. Like always, this is Nintendo Sony 20 became MannyTendoWolverine. Almost forgot to say that. It would have sucked. But anyways, I know this is a little bit older, but I still want to talk about this whole thing 4.5 days ago about Gina Carano having her own little like comeback of a actual TV show or whatever she's going to be doing. She's going to have another new revenge thriller, as it says, since her Disney fire. But anyways, I wanted to talk about this first because you hear background, some vaporwave music from the 1980s shit. Dr.Disrespect news. I haven't talked about this dude. I know it's a day old. This one's like the earliest one I found 7 hours ago. About Riot Games is going to be 100% mobile games, possibly, which I wouldn't be surprised if that ended up being the case. But anyways, yeah, let's begin. So it says Dr. Disrespect himself. He says has no interest in being on Joe Rogan's podcast show. So many people don't know, like once in a while I listen to like maybe once a month or two, I'll listen to these older podcasts that Joe Rogan did. And it's kind of a little underrated, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna read the whole exact entire thing. That was another website actually I was gonna like talk about this before. This one was called something, let's say, Future Tech Trends. I was gonna read it from there, but I'll leave the link in the description box down below if I remember to put it there. So there's that. So get a credit is due for this person from here. Title Press. That's where I found it on. Oh, that's from Newsdex. So yeah, let's begin. So it says Guy Beamh, aka Dr. Disrespect. Unless this is Beamh instead of Beam. I don't know. Shares that he has no interest in appearing in the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. So it also goes on to say it was boarded by Dextera, which should be Dexerto. Popular influencer was answering questions from fans during the donation portion of the stream, and asked if he would ever appear on the Joe Rogan podcast in the future. The result said was not what many expected, which Beamh immediately declined. Immediately declined any sort of invitation. So, anyways, oh man. So, anyways, as Joe Rogan calls you and gives you a clear invitation, probably not. Being said, says, I'm telling you, man, there's a reason. If I'm going to do a podcast, I'm going to do a podcast on my own way. And that might require an additional resources of funding, okay? That's what Dr. Disrespect, he said. Guy Beamh said. The clip can be found in the video in 31-minute, 30-second mark. Also goes on to say the influencer has more than 2 million followers on Twitter and a subscriber base on, does it say TikTok? I don't know. It's weird the way this thing's laid out. It's usually in the middle over here. So I'm having a hard time reading this one more harder than normal. I guess just to say TikTok, well over 4 million, bringing millions of views. Joe Rogan, meanwhile, runs Spotify's most popular podcast after agreeing with a $100 million deal in May 2020 to move on the show to the platform. Last month, Dr. Disrespect revealed he starts your own game development studios. He's currently seeking the position of game studio director. And after this, you guys can read the rest on your own. It's real super short. It's like 4 minutes, not 2. Dr. Disrespect is in partnership with Boom TV and is taking the gaming industry by storm, incubating a new AA deal and AAA gaming studio that has a unique twist, and the job posting reads, I don't know, overall thoughts and opinions. I'm not sure if this is like Dr. Disrespect talking, his, little like fake, not fake, but I don't know, his alter ego that's talking, and his like little character icon, like cartoon character persona talking. I'm not sure if that's the version he's putting on the show, pretending that he doesn't want to do something drug-related, or the real version of himself, which is Guy Beamh, like, splitting the character apart, like, because that's his own little fake persona, alter ego that he likes to put on as Dr. Disrespect, some crazy 1980s, early 90s, like, icon character that doesn't give a shit, but kicks ass and takes names, sort of, attitude, just fake. I know he's doing it for money and views and clicks and all that shit, but at the same time, Guy Beamh is the real person that's behind Dr. Disrespect. That's the real actual person himself. So I'm not sure if he was just putting on a show when he was doing this interview with whoever he was doing it with. I don't know, maybe because he doesn't like Dr. Spread doesn't like Joe Rogan personally. Some of the shit I disagree with Joe Rogan, and this shit I just agree with him 100%, man. It's real good stuff. You know, he was with AJ, aka Alex Jones, for a little bit. So I don't know if he was a government FBI, CIA, PSYOP dude. That he was just pretending to talk about freedom and liberties. Sometimes back in the day, I would like Joe Rogan a lot more compared to now, especially when he used to be with Alex Jones back in the day. He used to do double podcasts, and he's splitting his own thing, and he's doing his own thing, which is awesome. But yeah, let's get on to the next. Ooh, man, that Gina Carano news I talked about earlier. So let's get to it. Gina Carano announces her film movie role of being fired from Mandalorian. Alright, this comes from Anthony Lund. Their credits due there. I know this is 4.5 days ago, but I still want to put my 2 cents on it. Earlier this year, Gina Carano was controversially fired from her role for the Project Mandalorian. But it seems like this comes from MovieWeb, by the way. Eric Lund, gotta give credit to him, like I just said. Fired from her role for the Mandalorian, but it seems now that they officially found her next movie project. News reports said that Carano will star in and produce a new thriller based on the novel White Knuckle by Eric Red. The author will be writing the screenplay and has a number of hits previously with The Hitcher and Near Dark, among others. The story, which seems to follow similar soundings to numerous movies, tells that the woman who has survived a bad, unfortunate experience attempt by a serial killer truck driver, White Knuckle. Unable to move on from the encounter, she takes place upon herself to hunt down the killer at the end of his evilest ways once and for all. The movie is said to have been in development for several months, but is now only talking with the director despite its planned release for the first quarter of 2022. This is quote, this is her saying it, I guess, Gina Carano. I'm completely united to be creating this thriller with the DailyWire and Bonfire legend, Gina Carano said in a statement. I feel I'm exactly where I wanted to be and need to be at the moment in my life. It feels like I have wings. Oh, the DailyWire. That's the one that Ben Shapiro's always running all the time. DailyWire. That's why she did that interview earlier this year when she got fired away from Disney. Well, let's move on. It makes sense. The news of her own new project comes as the first feature movie for the star since she had a role as Cara Dune stripped from her following a series of posts. Posts on her social media accounts that were deemed too inappropriate for her to continue working on a Star Wars spin-off of the episode series Mandalorian, and also brought to a premature end. It's supposed for her character to get her own spin-off series and her own show. Her sacking came in the wake of a viral campaign as hashtag that one. Fire Gina Carano. I was a bitch when they did that to her mom. They stabbed her in the back so bad with that bitch. I was so pissed off Disney did that shit to her. It also goes on to say, after the actress made a number of posts which included views of that word's transphobic nature, comparing the current political climate of a lot of those evil words, and the plan to scam them fake, not real viruses, because there's 4 fake science viruses aren't real. Plan them to scam them, and the viral threat. That's my own personal opinion. You already know how the fuck I feel about that. Lucasfilms were quickly to release a statement after the incident said that Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilms, and there is no plans for her to be there in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrated, degrading people based on their cultural and religious identities are deplorable and unacceptable. Deplorable or deplorable? I don't know. Unacceptable. As all the rumors spun off as well to believe that Gina Carano's character could have been the center of the Rangers as the Republic searches, which was announced later last year during Disney's Investors Day. But again, no cast crews that having been released. It's something that could have easily been changed without anyone knowing the other plans of what it would have been Star Wars involvement. Of course, there's that too. Also goes on to say that Carano is the number one of the stars who have been caught up in social media scandals, and it's pretty certain that she won't be the last. James Gunn was fired from his directorial duties at the Guardians of the Galaxy due to some social media comments, but in that instance, Disney made a U-turn and hired him back, although not before he decided to deflect it, and made it DC's S-Word squad, and it seems that Carano, though there's no way back to the Star Wars universe, she seems to have found an alternative path to take. And overall thoughts, using heads, I gotta say that, I gotta give her a round of applause for that thing. I'm glad she's doing her own thing. I'm real happy as hell. She's able to like make her own freaking destiny. She was able to put this project for a really long time. I'm super proud of her. I really hope to God this Knuckle, the White Knuckle, ends up being super successful, $1 million billion plus movie thing at the box office. Hopefully it blows up in popularity. I wish nothing but the best of positive vibes to just show the prettiest, sexiest girls in the planet. Top 10 as far as Hollywood goes. But yeah, anyways, let's move on. Let's keep it going. Let's get it to the last but not least bit of news. This is a little bit more or less important news. I just find out that some of the people that were the managers and office people here, like, they ended up getting in big trouble for the evil assaults and harassment of women over there. The Riot Studios or Riot Games. I'm not going to talk about that part though. I'll leave the link in the description about it yourself. They got themselves in hot water. You say Blizzard and Activision now Riot's facing a lot of the same bullshit Blizzard and Activision, CEO, billionaires, and millionaires are facing, but they're going to get a golden parachute. So this one says, analyzing Riot Games, and the mobile comes from Kumar. I'm not going to say the first name because it sounds way too hard to pronounce. It's from VentureBeat. I'm only going to read half of the article and then I'll let you guys read the rest if you want to do it on your own time. So it says, as Sensor Towers puts it, just over 16 months into Riot Games' first foray into mobile titles, the publisher has returned 3 games and generates over $108 million from the title's players' spendings. Quite frankly, it is a very commendable feat for a company that is primarily focused on PC games since 2009. While Riot needs time to build their mobile revenue contributions to League of Legends are reported to $100.75 billion in 2020 in PC. Last year, thought to a good start. That said, achieving a competitive success on mobile is very different from Valid Games. With numbers below, it would seem that Riot Games is feeling the heat. League of Legends, Wild Rift, taking on quite a versus Mobile Legends Bangs, but it's miles away from Supercell's Brawl and Tencent's Arena of Valor. Legends of Runeterra revenues are pretty insignificant in the competition. The MTG Arena has shown them to be in comparable performance just a matter of 5 months. Teamfight Tactics is a subgenre leader and likely driven to the IP attached to it, but the auto chess subgenre is removed. Revenue opportunity is insignificant over its target subgenres. While the nuances to justify the scale the numbers such as the audience demographics, platforms, and impacts, user acquisitions, volumes, Wild Rift, and Runeterra also show per usage and the volumes, per usage, the performance metrics. They're comparable to those with the retrospective subgenre top performers. In other words, it seems like both of the games need to figure out the discovery, distribution, and the truly juiciness of revenue volume. And I'm just going to read up to here and that's it. Riot. But is Riot really worth it about subgenre dominance? No, not so much. I'd argue, though, a recent interview, co-founder, and chairman of Mark Marcel's company, steadfast focus on the long term, and it's clear that Merrill's goes on to say the reason that League of Legends isn't big enough is because we're great at acquiring players. It's big because we're great at not losing players, bringing the value together with Riot's first 5 core values. Okay, player experience first tells Riot Games mobiles aren't ambitions and probably will never be the sub-genre dominance. Answer overall thoughts, views, and opinions. I'm not sure if they're actually going to go through with this or not. Look at the chart. The chart is huge, man. The numbers don't lie in this thing. They're doing way better in the mobile smartphone games than they are in PC games, and that sucks. Because you know how I feel about mobile games? A lot of them are just pieces of shit, and they want to steal all your money and suck you dry with microtransactions and cosmetics and deal shit. And that pisses me the fuck off. I hope to God that Riot Games doesn't do this sort of thing, but it will. Fortunate in 2025, 2030, it's probably going to do another 5-9 years from now. That's it. Links subscribe down below to the full articles I didn't read. That's it. Peace out once again, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys and gamers, as always. Tacos, Nicky, Kimori's, I'll see you, and I see you guys day or night, wherever universe out there. Stay tuned for future guys. Sharing, put in video game industry news, anime manga news, internet news, Twitch news, drama news. So that's it. Take it easy. Peace out. More South Carolina. See you on the flip side. Stay safe. Stay easy. I'm going. I'm out. Later and talk to you soon. Goodbye.